and that was Kendrick's album GNX. So Xavier, over the last couple days since we recorded our album reaction, how has GNX sounded to you? What is your overall reaction to GNX? How do you think the public has received it? All that jargon above.
I feel like there's a pretty even consensus with the public about just how great this album is, and there's certain songs on this album like Resurrection, Reincarnation, Gloria, and Whacked Out Murals, where it's just a pure display of how proficient Kendrick is with his pen. So he showed us the true power of lyricism in hip-hop, but also gave us more upbeat, chill songs with Dodger Blue and that flip on Luther, but also gave us some real good club songs on a good Saturday night on the freeway with Hey Now and TV Mustard. We got the shit. He gave us, like you said, Kendrick, similar to Kanye, is not going to give you the same album twice.
Right.
So we got a new version of Kendrick with this album, very similar to Not Like Us. We're still in that West Coast pocket, a little funny, hee hee ha ha, hey. We got some jokes in there, but we're really hard hitting with these bars and these beats. This is still some of the best production I've seen on any Kendrick Lamar project. The beat for Hey Now and the beat for Squabble Up, with that Debbie Deb mix.
Yeah.
Those are two of the best productions or best beats I've heard this entire year. Hey Now is my favorite song off that album. It's my favorite beat off that album. And like you've also mentioned as well, everyone showed up. Not one feature missed. Everybody did their job. And to do that job, really concise, 12 songs, 45 minutes, this really tells me that there is more in store. We've seen people from that circle post on social media, on Twitter, Daylight, letting us know that there's more stuff coming soon. That could be a lot of different things. But I do feel like we have another full project coming from Kendrick. Kendrick is really never lacking, unless this is Untitled or Unmastered. Kendrick is never really lacking on themes or messaging in his album. And this just seems more like a mixtape to me. Honestly, seems like something he's just put together within the last year, maybe during the battle, honestly.
Right.
If anything, I would view this more as a rollout or promotion for his next drop or for the Super Bowl. Just giving himself a little bit more padding on upbeat songs to play during the Super Bowl.
Right, and it's like guess what? If you guys don't want me to play Not Like Us on the Super Bowl, I'm gonna play TV off.
Y'all don't want to listen to Poetic Justice? I'm gonna put on motherfucking Hey Now.
I already performed all right during the Dr. Dre Super Bowl. I'm gonna perform like Dodger Blue.
Yeah.
So I have a different element that are great hit, upbeat, in tune records that people are liking. GNX to me, Xavier, like you said, and I wasn't kind of understanding what you were saying on Friday, but now having the album for longer period of time, listening to it more, the production on GNX as far as a cohesive album is some of the best Kendrick Lamar I've ever heard as far as cohesive album goes.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard these beats as cohesive as I've heard. To Pimp a Butterfly to me does have a special place in my heart. Terrace Martin, who was on production for a lot of that album, has a special place in my heart. But what I heard on GNX was different than any Kendrick that we've heard thus far. Like you mentioned, I mentioned before the pod, I don't think I've heard an album that had this many features that were flawless. Like, I can't name a song on here. Number one, I can't name a song on this album that's a skip, that I would say is a certified skip, that I don't like, that I dislike.
Be careful with that.
Right. But also, I can't name a feature that I would skip.
Right.
All the features on GNX are great, are immaculate, are perfect for the song in hand. So for Kendrick to curate an album with no skips on the feature with LA artists that we haven't heard of is something outstanding and groundbreaking within itself.
Right, and I do. There's been some criticism that Kendrick doesn't do enough for LA or for Compton, but then we see a 12-track project where really only maybe knew outside of Roddy Ricch and SZA maybe one or two of the lesser known features.
Right.
So he did put on a lot of these artists, and like you mentioned, they all showed up. There are no skips on this album. Even the songs I don't go back to just because they don't have as much replay value for me. Those are still great songs with some of the best writing I have heard in a long time. So like even if I take out
Reincarnation, Gloria, Heart Part 6, those are writing clinics.
Right. Those are writing clinics. Like this man said, buy a ticket, I'm gonna show you how to be a rapper.
Right.
Even if I take those 3 songs out, this is still a 9 out of 12.
Right.
That's a 9 out of 12 according to Cayman standards is still a classic.
Right. It's still a classic according to my standards. And I texted you this earlier this week. We've seen Kendrick Lamar twice in our lifetimes. We both went to the Damn Tour. We both went to the Championship Tour with all of TDE. We got to see on display. I want to see Kendrick Lamar a third time now.
Yeah,
not because of Not Like Us, but because
Kendrick.
of GNX, and I need to see West Coast Kendrick perform these songs on tour. So I'm definitely going to be right there whenever he announces that tour. They said he's going to try to do a stadium tour album, stadium tour after the Super Bowl. So we'll see if that's going to be true. But even if Kendrick Lamar does not have another album, which you said, and I would agree with you, that this is more mixtapey vibes, and he has another album coming. Xavier, I'm totally okay if this is the rest of Kendrick that I get for another year or two.
Right, because we really have every facet
on the
of
way.
Kendrick. Where is Keem at?
He's on the way. He's on the way. His producer produced 3 of these songs, and he said he's on the way as well.
Keem popped out for Chromacopia. I don't care if it was one word. He could have gave me a whoa. He could have gave me He could have gave me something. And there were several beats on that song where it's like, oh yeah, Keem's coming. Coming. Pause. But he never came. Pause. And I'm just like, I see you taking these pictures in Japan with Kanye. I see you're active. You're writing. Where are you at? It's been 2022, I think, is when he dropped Melodic Blues, which to me was the best album of that year. Even with that, since he is such a newer artist, not too many songs, even though he does have 3 other projects under his belt, still a more mainstream, when it comes to mainstream, still a newer artist. So I feel like Keem is still on that clock.
Can you put him on a clock though? Like Xavier, think about this. 2022 Melodic Blue drops. 2023, okay, maturation process. I'm experimenting things. I'm now on tour with my cousin for the first time. We're doing things that I've never imagined before. 2024 pops around, and Drake and Kendrick Lamar, a beef that has been going on for 10 plus years, is now at its apex. And now my cousin, one of the best rappers and greatest rappers of this generation, is now in a beef with one of the biggest artists in this generation. Now we have that parallel. Now it's 2024 going into 2025, and I do and am ready to drop an album, but my cousin, who is the label owner and label head of this whole organization, is on fire right now. He just came off one of the best moments and greatest moments of hip-hop history. Maybe I need to chill a little bit and just get in the lab and mature. I love seeing Baby Keem with Kanye West. I love seeing Baby Keem with Tyler the Creator. Why? Because Tyler the Creator and Kanye West are 2 people that I understand maturated with the gift of music, maturated and evolved in their musical talent. And what do we want to see from Keem in the future? Not be under the umbrella of Kendrick Lamar, his cousin, but be under his own musical element and style and identity. And I think that what he's doing right now, as far as being quiet, We haven't heard Keem tweet anything. We haven't heard Keem even say Kendrick King of the West. We haven't heard anything that we know Keem thinks. Keem has just been in the lab. And I can understand and appreciate that from an artist, especially when they could say, I'm going to just capitalize off my cousin's moment. I feel like Keem wants to be more of an artist that capitalizes off his own moments than his own cousin's moment. And that's why I appreciate Keem for just laying low for the time being. But for his producer to say, we coming, gave me hope for the next Keem project that we will get. But I'm okay with the PG Lane, Kendrick Lamar era that we're in right now.
Right, and I love that Keem is laying low, and I do agree with you. I'm glad that he is spending time with Tyler the Creator and with Kanye West. I would much rather see Keem go that direction versus a direction of a Kendrick Lamar. I feel like he's more apt to be
the musical guy, the
more
creative
musical,
guy, Kanye, Tyler.
He's a lot more creative and artistic,
than
like
lyrical,
a Tyler.
miracle, crazy.
Right.
Writing.
Right, and you can even hear it in the production for a lot of his beats. It just sounds like some Kanye shit. Mm-hmm. And I'm not expecting him to be J. Cole. Give me some features. Like, let me hear something. Where is the direction that you're thinking about heading? How have you changed as an artist since 2022? It don't have to be a feature run every month. You give me a new song with every rapper. But give me a 3-pack. Give me 4 songs. It's been 2 years. I just want to hear something.
Right.
I just want to know that you're not going on an extended break.
Right.
And I don't think he is going on that extended break because we see him gearing up for something. I just hope this isn't another J. Cole and we're waiting for this for 6 years. Years and years and years. And all we hear is the title of the album, but we never hear the album. That's my only thing with Keem. I feel like he's too talented to kind of get lost in the Drake versus Kendrick beef. Yeah. Right. I hope he really finds his way to really get out there and start releasing more of his own music. Because, again, one of the best albums, if not the best album of 2022, I hope there is more to come.
Right. And going off the GNX album and what Kendrick Lamar was talking about, him making stamps and headway in the Hard Part 6 to being this music exec, I think him managing Keem's career is one of the most integral moments of that process for Kendrick Lamar, for Keem. And we shall see what Keem does. But GNX, Xavier, even the songs that I was iffy on, we were talking about the album title and cover and lead song GNX, which had a beat that we weren't used to growing on us. So GNX, each and every song has grown on me. I don't need another Kendrick Lamar album per se from him. This is great within itself. I want to appreciate this project for within itself, even though we know what Kendrick Lamar albums do.
Right.
But GNX definitely is in my playlist so far, and I never did an album review since we've been doing album reviews on Black Ambition Media, where I wanted to go listen to the album literally after we did an album review. On the way home, I listened to GNX. I never did that for any other album, and that's why I know it's the album of the year for 2024 so far.
Yeah, I've been listening to this album non-stop, and again, like, there may be a few songs that I'm not going back to just because the fact that I might not be in the headspace to listen to such a lyrical showcase. Right. Sometimes I really I'm at work or I'm driving and or I'm working out and I do just want to put a song to. I can't listen to all that right now. But when I tell you these flips on this album have me in a chokehold, that Luther flip, that Debbie Deb SUV, like, there was no dollar wasted. Right. You can hear the money in this album.
He spent money.
Oh, yeah. If you got it, flaunt it.
Right.
That boy spent money on this album. You can hear it. You can hear that shit. And it's a great album. Even the self-titled GNX song, at first, terrible beat. I could not get on board. I was getting lost. There was a lot going on. I was confused. But at the same time, I was very impressed that Kendrick and the features were all able to really slide on that shit.
Right.
And the more and more I listen to it, the more comfortable and familiar I get with that nasty ass beat. And it's honestly a really great song. I don't skip that song.
I don't skip it at all.
I don't skip that song.
And features were flawless on this album.
Right, who was it? It was Kendrick, Peso, Jay Hitta, and Young Threat.
Shout out to Jay Hitta.
They all, they did their thing on there. And I heard he was saying some disrespectful stuff. He was like, "Whoa, Jay Hitta, I didn't know he was even a rapper. I just thought he was a hothead influencer." And I'm like, dude, you're telling me you listened to that and it was like, I didn't know that nigga was a rapper. I'm pretty sure Academics has had Jay Hitta on his stream.
Wow.
So sound like a Drake op to me. Fragile op.
Sound like a Drake op. And Xavier, Kendrick Lamar released a music video for his record Squabble Up. So what did you think about the music video in its entirety? There was a lot of hidden messages in there. There was a lot of homages to old rap entities and styles that we've seen before. So what did you think about the Squabble Up video?
I thought it was a great video. Like we said, that it was pretty reminiscent to the Not Like Us video. We do know that the first part of that song was used for the Not Like Us video, so
right.
I do expect to see some sort of correlation with that, especially since he's using that song for the first video we have seen from this album. Other than that, I love the colors of the album. I love the more 70s 80s nostalgic look of the greens and the oranges. I love all the dancers and continuing to put the West Coast on.
1000%.
We saw some notable LA artists like G Perico in there as well. So continuing to put the West and Compton, LA at the forefront of what he's doing this year. The West 2024 is on the map like no other. It was a great video. We do see some Easter eggs on there. I saw that at the end of the video, he had that little clip for the Compton Christmas Parade.
Right.
And I saw that artist formerly known as Problem, now known as Jason Martin, did post on his Instagram as well that he is going to be one of the organizers for the Compton Christmas Parade alongside the Compton Cowboys. So I do expect y'all in Compton and the LA area to have a great time with that show. If you have an extra ticket or you need somebody to go with you, just let me know. But I feel like, as we mentioned, Kendrick has just been moving great throughout these last few months. Videos for Not Like Us and the video for Squabble Up, I do feel like we're just overall great projects, but they do feel connected.
They definitely feel connected, and like you said, great freaking video from Kendrick Lamar. And I want to get the producer's name. I'll get that by the end of my soliloquy here. Kendrick Lamar had a lot of different quotes that you guys wouldn't understand if you're not from California, if you're not from LA, and if you're not from the Bay. Shout out to the Bay Area. That's where I'm from. Born and raised, Vallejo, California. I appreciate Kendrick Lamar for not only paying homage to the Bay in the battle, in the beef, going back all the way to like that when he shouted out the Click and E40, but he has shown throughout this whole beef and battle that LA and the Bay Area are combined in a with us being a combined entity. There's no stopping us, and I understand and I appreciate the West Coast appreciation that you get both from the coast in LA all the way down to the Bay. Kendrick Lamar has flawlessly did that, so I appreciate him for that. Jesus Save Gangsters too. I love that.
Yeah.
I freaking,
that's his favorite people.
Yes, I
that
freaking love that. But it's like Jesus does save
right
gangsters. This video was shot and directed by Calmatic. I think that's how you say his name.
Shout out Cal.
But that's another LA person of interest that we know. But like you said, great overall video.
Simple.
I don't know why people were hating on it, but that's the world that we live in
Yeah,
today.
what's the world without a little bit of hate? It's
Right.
kind of boring.
Do you think people are understanding this type of sound from Kendrick Lamar at this time?
I don't feel like the people.
If you're not from California,
yeah, if you're not from
especially.
California, you're maybe hearing a couple songs like "TV Off" and "Hey Now," and you're like,
Even
why is-
RNX.
Yeah, why is he being silly? Why is he thinking it's a game? Why is he rap? That's really just California,
That's
West Coast
California,
rap.
right.
You hear a lot of songs where they're just going a little bing, bunk, boom, little molly wop, wop, boom. Like, we just say things, we just vibe and just have fun. And you can really tell throughout this album, Kendrick was just having fun.
Right.
Very, very, very much influenced by the West Coast. Glad to see Mustard still on this album. We know that he had his own drop this year, The Faith of the Mustard Seed. So we really see that Kendrick is really keeping the West on, but still giving them their flowers at the same time. A lot of influence that you're like you mentioned from a lot of these Bay Area artists like E40 as well. So we really see the dots being connected through the entirety of California. So
Right.
everybody's getting their flowers. Everybody's getting their shout outs. I heard a lot of people even saying that Kendrick's flow sounded very reminiscent of dang, now I'm blanking on his name. You can just cut that out.
But yeah, very reminiscent of that. But before we get out of here, everyday hip hop would like to say, mustard.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see. I call him Kaiju Kenny, because for those of us that have watched Godzilla, when Godzilla's charging up.
Right.
Godzilla's charging up and his spikes on his back start to light up and glow in that blue, and then he says mustard, and then he annihilates all of you and your mama. And I think Kendrick, we know he's the boogeyman.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kendrick is very reminiscent to Godzilla as well, because we know Godzilla, he's not always here. That man be gone under the ocean for the most of the time, just chilling. But sometimes he gets bored and just wants to pop out to let y'all know, nigga, I'm still him and I'll fuck this shit up whenever I want to.
Sometimes.
And guess what he does? That nigga fucks that shit up.
Sometimes you gotta pop out and show niggas. And this is everyday hip hop. And thank y'all for watching.